Hello students, this is the second part of video for chapter number 5 from civics. So our next topic is what is the structure of court in India. There are 3 different levels of courts in our country. There are several courts at lower level while there is only one at the apex level. So here apex means top level. The courts that most people interact with are what are called as subordinate or the district courts. So most probably the common people are dealing with this court. So that kind of court is called as subordinate or the district court. These are usually at the district or tehsil level or in the towns, and they hear many kind of cases. Common conflicts, property conflicts between the families or with the other persons, common disputes in between them. So there are certain kinds of cases that could be heard over here. Each state is divided into districts that are presided over by the district judge. So as we already know, the state is divided into different districts and every district is having the court. So every district court is being presided by the district judge. So each state has high court, which is the highest court of the state. At the top is the Supreme Court that is located in the New Delhi and is presided over by Chief Justice of India. The decision made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. So you can see the structure over here. The structure of court from the lower to the highest level is such that it resembles a pyramid. Having read the description above, you have to fill this. So I am doing over here as we are not in the class. So at the top level of the government, which is that is central level, the whole country is divided as in these 3 divisions, that is central. Then nextly it is divided into state, and thirdly it is divided into district. So at the central level, that is called as apex level, at the top level. So which kind of court is available over here? That is Supreme Court. SC stands for Supreme Court. Now further, the whole country is divided into number of states. So every state is having this court. So this is called as High Court. So every state. So there are several courts, many high courts. Each state is having one high court. So the state's highest court is considered as the high court, and at central there is the Supreme Court. Then the third division, the state further is divided into district, that we already know. Now every district has the district court, or it is also known as subordinate court. So don't confuse between the SC and SC written over here, because in district level it is having district court, or it is also known as the subordinate court. Now you understand there are 3 level of divisions for overall of country, that is divided on the central, state and district. So central is having the Supreme Court, every state is having the high court, and this is the highest court in the state, and district is having the district court. So that is being looked after by the district judge, and here the Chief Justice is looking after the judgment. So this is the pyramid. So from this you would have understood the court system in India. Now this is very important that you have to go through this one. See the left hand side portion of your worksheet. High Court were first established in the 3 presidencies cities of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras in 1862. So what we have read in the above pyramid, that every state is having its the highest level of court, that is High Court. But in 1862 there were only 3 court established to the presidencies, that is Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Generally this presidencies was of Britishers. So the High Court of Delhi came up in 1966. Currently there are 25 high courts. So you may have the questions that we are having 28 states and why only 25 high courts. As I said, that is each state is having one high court. Then how it comes 25 if we are having already 28 states? So the answer is, while many states have their own high courts, Punjab and Haryana shares a common high court at Chandigarh. And for northeastern states of Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh have common high court at the Guwahati. Andhra Pradesh, that is also known as Amravati, and Telangana, that is belonging to Hyderabad, have separate high courts from 1st January 2019. So some of the high courts have benches in other parts of the state for great accessibility. So here few states are having the common high court, like we have read about the Punjab and Haryana, and for the northeastern states like Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh, they are also having a common high court. So because of this, overall currently we are having 25 high courts in India. Are these different levels of court connected to each other? Because when we have learnt about the government, so all three level of government is connected to each other. Starting from the base, if we are talking about, then local is connected with state and state is connected with the central. So meanwhile central is again connected to state and state is connected to the local. So overall development they are looking after. So in same manner, whether the different levels of government is connected to each other, this is the question. So yes, they are. In India, we have an integrated judicial system, meaning that the decision made by the higher court are binding on the lower courts. So whatever decision that has been made in higher court, so that has to be accepted by the lower courts. Another way to understand this integration is through the appellate system that exists in India. This means that a person can appeal to the higher court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. So at the base level, what we are having? District court or subordinate court. So any case which is gone through in that lower level, and if the person feels that whatever the justice was being given by, or the judgment what is being passed by the lower court is not just, then he can reappeal to the high court, because state's highest court is high court. So he can appeal over there for the rejudgment, and if it is favoring the person or the judgment is in the favor of the person, then whatever the decision or the judgment is taken by the high court, that has to be accepted by the lower court. So from this only we can understand that every court is connected to each other. So same goes with the Supreme Court. If they are again not happy, the person is not again happy with the judgment of High Court, then they can appeal to the Supreme Court also. So that is the highest level, and Supreme Court's decision has to be accepted by the High Court and even the lower court. It depends where they have appeal for the, or given the petition for the case. Now let us understand what we mean by the appellate system by tracking a case. Here one example is given. State, that is Delhi administration, West Lakshman Kumar and others in 1985 from the lower court to the Supreme Court. So as I said that from lower court they have started their case and they went up to the Supreme Court. So the person was not happy with the judgment of lower court, not happy with the judgment of high court, or so he went to the Supreme Court level. So here is the case. In February 1980, Lakshman Kumar married to 20-year-old Sudha Goyal, and they lived in flat in Delhi with Lakshman's brother and their families. On 2nd December 1980, Sudha died in hospital due to burns. Her family filed a case in court. When this case was heard in trial court, Four of her neighbors were called as in witness. They stated that on the night of December 1, they had heard Sudha scream and had forced their way into Lakshman's flat. There they saw Sudha standing with her sari in flames. They extinguished the fire by wrapping Sudha in a gunny bag and a blanket. So Sudha told them that her mother-in-law Shakuntala had poured kerosene oil on her and that her husband Lakshman had lit the fire. So during the trial, member of Sudha's family and neighbors stated that Sudha had been subjected to the torture by her in-laws, that they were demanding more cash, a scooter, a fridge on the birth of the first child. As a part of their defense, Lakshman and his mother stated that Sudha's sari had accidentally caught fire while she was heating milk. On the basis of this and other evidences, the trial court convicted Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala, and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra and sentenced all three of them to death. Now, in November 1983, the three accused went to the High Court to appeal against the verdict of the trial court. The High Court, after hearing the arguments of all the lawyers, decided that Sudha had died due to the accident fire caused by the kerosene stove. Lakshman, Shakuntala and Subhash Chandra were acquitted. You may remember the photo essay on the women's movement in class 7th book. You read about how in 1980s women group across the country spoke about the against the dowry deaths. They protested against the failure of court to bring these cases to justice. The above High Court judgment deeply troubled women, and they held demonstration or filed a separate appeal against these High Court decisions in Supreme Court through the Indian Federation of Women's Lawyers. In 1985, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against the acquitted of Lakshman and the two members of his family. The Supreme Court heard the arguments of the lawyers and reached to the decision that was different from that of the High Court. They found Lakshman and his mother guilty, but acquitted the brother-in-law Subhash because they did not have enough evidences against him. The Supreme Court decided to send the accused to the prison for life. So here was the example of Sudha Goyal and his in-laws, about his in-laws family. So what was the case? Sudha had died in hospital due to the burn on 2nd December 1980. So she was married to Lakshman Kumar. So her age was only about 20 years old. So Sudha's family has filed a case against his in-laws family, and when the case went for hearing in the trial court, so four of the neighbors of Sudha Goyal was brought as witness in the court, and they said on the December 1st they have heard that Sudha Goyal was screaming. So because of screaming, they rushed to the Sudha Goyal's house, and what scenery they have seen that the Sudha is standing with her sari in flames. So they extinguished the fire, wrapped her in the gunny bag to put off the fire, and during that time Sudha informed that mainly to the neighbors that her mother-in-law, that is Shakuntala, her name was Shakuntala, and her husband Lakshman both have tried to kill her. Mainly Shakuntala has poured kerosene oil on her, and her husband, that is Lakshman, lit the fire. So during the trial, the members of Sudha family and the neighbor, whatever the statement what they have given, so Sudha had subjugated to the torture. Now why they were torturing in-laws? Why they are torturing Sudha Goyal? Because for the dowry. For what they were asking dowry? For the first child that has took birth in their family. And what dowry they were asking? For more cash, more a scooter and a fridge they were asking for. So apart with their defenses, Lakshman and his mother stated that Sudha's sari accidentally caught the fire. They were not accepting the claim what was being put forward by the neighborhoods. So on the basis of the evidences, the trial court had convicted that Lakshman and his mother Shakuntala, and as well as the younger brother, that is Subhash Chandra, they all found guilty, and they said what punishment were given to them? 3 of them to the death, as he has tried to kill, and mainly Sudha Goyal died. Because of that, they also get the punishment of death. But the Goyals, the Lakshman's family was not happy about this verdict what was being put forward by the local court. So in November 1983, the 3 accused went to the High Court to appeal for the verdict what they have given in the trial court. So the High Court, after hearing the arguments of the lawyer, they decided that Sudha has died due to the accident and fire caused by the kerosene stove. So this was the reason that was being understood by the High Court because of the lawyers. And Lakshman, Shakuntala, and as well as Subhash Chandra, the youngest brother, they all were acquitted. They were released free. So now that punishment was taken away from them. They were released free. So in this case, you may have remembering the law what was being put forward by many of the women in 7th standard. Domestic violence we have already learned, and even because of the domestic violence, mainly for what it is happening for the properties and mainly for the dowry. So women are facing many kind of such torture in the family. So how many of the Federation of Women Lawyers came together as they got complaint from the 2 of the ladies, and they stated and they defined a term that was known as the domestic violence. So what kind of things can put into that definition? They were put all together, and it came to action in 2006. So according to that law, Sudha should get the justice because she was being tortured for the dowry, and even she was killed because of the same reason. So in 1985, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against the acquittal of Lakshman and the 2 members of his family. So this lawyer went to the court because the judgment or the verdict taken by the High Court was completely wrong. So they appealed to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court had heard the arguments of the lawyers, and they reached to the decision that was completely different from the High Court what was being given, because they were set free with all the blamings or claimings. They found Lakshman and his mother guilty, as when the Sudha Goyal was dying, to the neighbors she already informed that her mother-in-law had poured the kerosene and Lakshman has lit the fire, and she has not taken the name of Subhash, the youngest brother-in-law. So the Subhash was released free because there was no enough evidence against him, but there were evidence for the Lakshman and as well as the mother. So with that evidences they got the evidences, and because of that the Supreme Court has given the punishment to the mother and as well as Lakshman. So what punishment was given according to their crime? That to lead a life in prison for lifelong, they have to live in the prison itself. They were set into prison itself. So this was the verdict that was being given by the Supreme Court. So from here only you can understand that the verdict taken by the three different court may be different, but there is a opportunity, there is a chance, and for the common people mainly, if they are not happy with the decision taken, then they can appeal to all three courts. If they are not happy with the judgment of lower, then they can appeal to the high court. If they are not happy with that, then they can go to the Supreme Court, but the judgment taken in the Supreme Court would be the last judgment. This you would have understood that there the three different levels of government, the connectivity between the three different level of government, and how the common people can access directly to the court if they are not happy with any of the court's verdict, any levels court verdict if they are not happy. So the next topic we are going to cover in the next video, that are what are the different branches of the legal system. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.